With the release of the version 4.2, we finally got a chance to pull for probably the most anticipated character of Fontaine. This character is none other than Furina herself, and the hype for her was real for sure. She was announced as the Hydro Archon after all, and before we had any lights about what her kit would do, most people were already thinking, is she really gonna be better than Giga Chad's Chinkyu and Yelan? And now, we finally have those answers. My name is dphoenix. If you haven't followed me, what are you waiting for? It's free and it will just show me how much you support me. Feel free to follow me on my other socials and keep an eye on my community tab here. I sometimes do polls and ask for future videos ideas. Okay, the ad time is over. Let's now talk about the topic of the video. Did Furina change the meta? It's not a surprise for anyone that Furina is a strong character. On her skill, she can provide off-field hydro application and a good damage with her pets. Or a decent heal that is nothing abysmal, but it can help your team surviving in some hard fights if you really need to. If you want to see her kit with more details, you can go check my Furina guide here on the channel. I will leave the link on the description and on the top of the video. And, of course, we cannot ignore her burst. With her burst, Furina converts all of your team members' HP changes into damage buffs, going up to 75% more damage if you crown her talent. This straight up makes her one of the best buffers or even the best one, who knows. Another big impact that Furina had on the game meta was regarding healers. Before her release, healers were characters that had their specific niches, but most of the times you would not even care to run a full dedicated healer. With Furina, everything changed, because if you want to get the max of the damage buffs she can provide, you need to gain a lot of HP for your party members. So we started to see characters like Baiju, Chi-Chi, Barbara, and the biggest one, Jean. She was one of the most rewarded characters with Furina release. She's an amazing healer that can also deal some decent damage. And she's from the Anemo element, allowing her to run 4-piece VV, boosting even more your team damage with her defense reduction on the top of pretty much maxing your Furina damage buff when you use her burst to heal the team. And her damage boost is so big that characters that we could assume that would never work with Furina actually work. Hu Tao, regarding dealing more damage when her HP is below 50%, she goes against Furina needs of a healer, but she actually prefers having Furina and a healer on the same team, because Furina's buff will be way more valuable than the ones of Hu Tao passive. And another great mention is Neuvillette. If you don't have him C1 at least, you are almost forced to play with 4 different elements on the team, but the damage buff Furina provides is equal or a little more than the third stack of his passive, making him another case of someone that we thought it would never work with her, but actually does. But of course, if you have Simon Neuvillette, congratulations, you have probably the most broken team in the planet. Since the beginning of the game, we were introduced to some characters that made sure to stay on the meta as relevant characters. The ones that I will bring on for this video in specific are 4 of them: Chinkyu, Yelan, Kazuha, and Benet. Furina is almost another version of Chinkyu and Yelan, but she has a differential regarding them. Both of them need their burst to apply Hydro off field, while Furina does it with her skill. Their damage and attack speed are different. Besides Furina having bigger numbers on her attacks, Chinkyu and Yelan apply a lot more Hydro. And Chinkyu also provides resistance to interruption, something that may not seem a lot, but will for sure save you in some runs on the Abyss sometimes. Although some people say one is better than the others, they actually are not meant to be substitutes of each other's. They are meant to be playing along with. With Kazuha, despite having different kits and elements, both do a similar thing. They both buff your team damage. Kazuha will buff the damage of the element he swirls, but Furina, she buffs everyone's damage including her own, as long as you make your HP fluctuate. She showed that in some teams it's better to take Kazuha out and just rely on her damage buff mixed with a Jean's 4-piece VV defense shred. But of course, she didn't make Kazuha obsolete. In cases where you can make them coexist, you will buff a lot the damage of your carry. And for last, Benet. Despite being one of the best supports on the game since the beginning, Furina was a little nerf for him. He is still amazing, don't get me wrong, but the fact of him healing just the active character made it super hard to make them both work on a team. If you want to put them both, you need to be quick swapping between them and try to get the max stacks out of Furina's passive. It's obvious that Hoyoverse had a hard time thinking about Furina kit. Hydro is known to be the element with the best characters, so they had to make sure Furina was going to be worth going for. They managed to make almost everyone roll for her while keeping the need of getting the other limited characters that supposedly we all thought she was going to bench. With Furina, they were able to change the meta in a way that after so many times the Abyss rating changed, so You could ask me, is she worth having on your account? Yes, for sure. I'm curious to hear what other players feel about this character. What strategies have they found to counter her HP fluctuations? And how will they see the meta from now on? What do you all think? Do you think that Furina changed the meta? I would like to know everything you guys think about her and about the future of the game. Keep in mind that all of your opinions are valid and that I will respect every one of them. I'm trying to create the nicest Genshin community possible, so I will appreciate if you guys express your opinions on this. Don't forget to follow me and like this video. I'm trying to make good content for you guys, and even though my update schedules are not the best, I'm trying to have my time for everything. Once again, all my links are available in the description, and if you want to, keep an eye on the community tab because who knows, your video suggestion may be the next. My name is tnbee. It was a pleasure to have you all until this point in time. See you all in the next video. See ya.